Welcome to Cognitia. Today, we're diving into one of the most hardcore sci-fi epics nature has ever written. Pregnancy is a story of war, peace, and compromise. Babies are, biologically speaking, incredibly cute tumors, growing a completely new organ inside another human. The mother's body allows this extraordinary invasion, even as the new life drains her resources and pushes her immune system to its limits. Biology is brutal, beautiful, and metal. Our story begins with an army of tens of millions of sperm cells, all racing against time. They are born with limited energy, surrounded by deadly obstacles, and almost all of them will die within minutes. The female reproductive tract is a fortress. Acidic environments kill millions instantly, guarded by immune cells that hunt intruders. Seminal fluid offers brief protection, but survival is unlikely. Those who escape face a labyrinth of mucus and protein nets, where millions more are trapped and destroyed. Only during ovulation does the body briefly ease its defenses, releasing chemical signals that guide the strongest forward. Out of tens of millions, only a few hundred survive. Fewer still reach the uterine cavity, where immune cells devour stragglers and weakness is punished without mercy. In the end, just a few dozen reach their destination. The egg, a giant 10,000 times larger than them, packed with nutrients and nearly 100,000 mitochondria. But the egg does not surrender easily. Only one sperm is chosen. When it enters, the genes of two individuals merge and something entirely new begins. The egg is no longer part of the mother. It is a new being, not human yet, but full of potential, like a thought before it becomes a word. For days, this tiny cluster of cells divides rapidly while traveling toward the uterus. Here, it splits into two teams, one that will become the baby, and another, the trophoblasts, whose sole purpose is to build a temporary organ, the placenta. These cells exist only to help the new life survive, and then they die. The next phase is the most dangerous. The embryo must convince the uterus to let it stay. A chemical conversation begins. The embryo releases signals begging to attach. The uterus listens and judges. If the embryo seems flawed, damaged, or unviable, it is rejected and lost. Pregnancy is too costly to waste resources. Survival must be earned. Desperate, the embryo escalates. It releases microscopic packages of genetic material that infiltrate uterine cells, reprogramming them to help rather than reject it. Meanwhile, the uterus provides uterine milk, a nutrient-rich fluid that sustains the embryo until it can secure blood flow. If implantation succeeds, the real invasion begins. Aggressively burrow into uterine tissue, destroying cells, reshaping blood vessels, and building direct access to the mother's bloodstream. This process is violent but tightly regulated, and surprisingly painless for the mother. The mother's immune system watches closely. If the embryo is too chaotic or too weak, it is destroyed. But if it grows at just the right pace, the immune system does something extraordinary. It protects it. Immune cells form a safe zone, guiding growth and blocking attackers. Some embryonic cells even spread throughout the mother's body, possibly signaling her immune system for years, or even decades, that this life must not be harmed. Parts of you may still live inside your mother. Around 8 weeks after fertilization, the embryo becomes a fetus. Organs begin to form. A fluid transition with no clear moment where life suddenly becomes human. The placenta now stands complete, a temporary organ. A fortress, an interface between two beings with overlapping but not identical goals. It redirects nutrients, hormones, and glucose to the fetus, sometimes pushing the mother's body to its limits. This is not perfect harmony. It is negotiation. Cooperation under tension. Over the next months, the fetus gains weight over 1 billion times, demanding staggering energy. If it reaches this stage, survival is likely. A baby will be born. If you are alive today, you survived one of the most brutal selection processes in nature. You fought through chemical warfare, immune defenses, and impossible odds. But you were also chosen by the egg, by hormones, by your mother's body that decided you were worth the cost. Biology is unforgiving, but it creates the greatest miracle there is: new life. Thank you for watching Cognitia. Welcome, and see you in the next story of science.